Hi guys. So today this video is gonna be a bit rough because it's just a quick little vlog thing. For this, I was just gonna I'm just gonna tell some of my paranormal experiences. I don't have that many as of right now, but I really, really want to go hunting with like my grandma and stuff. She's really into the paranormal and everything. Like, we have gone to a couple different places when we've gone on trips and caught a few things on like the voice recorder and stuff like that. So hopefully soon I'll have more, but this is gonna be what I have so far. So the first one, I guess I'll tell you the things that happened in my house, in this house. There's only like 2 stories really. In this house, I have a front room, and then if you go to like the far corner, there's the doorway to the hallway and then the doorway to the kitchen. Oh god. Sorry, I stayed up all night playing Xbox. Anyway, and then there's a doorway to the kitchen. Now if you keep going into the kitchen has a counter that's in between the dining room and it. And when we had a house phone, the house phone would be hanging on the wall by the counter in the kitchen. So like you could sit on the bar stool and like call somebody and then, hang it back up on the wall. So that's where it was. So when I was younger, I would stay home by myself a lot. I would either go to a babysitter that lives kind of in my neighborhood, or I would just stay home by myself after a while. I think once I turned like 8 or 9 is when I actually started just staying home by myself. But anyway, let's get all close. Anyway, one day I was talking on the phone with my mom, and from the spot where you talk on the phone, you can see the doorway to the hallway, and then next to the doorway to the hallway in the front room, there's like a little mirror that hangs like right there. And in this front room, there's a huge like window right next to my front door. So like when cars pass, light, passes through and everything. Just, yeah. So I was talking on the phone with my mom, and for some reason, like, I just all of a sudden wanted to look in the direction of the hallway, just because. And when I did, I saw a silhouette of a man. Now, it was like, at first it was like a shadow because it was it was like on the wall before the mirror, so it just looked like a shadow of a man with like his hair combed back and in like a suit and stuff. And he was walking like he was about to come into the kitchen or the hallway. And what the hell? My cat just like pushed something off. Anyway, back to the part of the story. He was like walking towards the kitchen. So what I was waiting for when I saw it, I was waiting for him to walk in front of the mirror so I could see who he was and if I knew him and like why this person was in my house. Because when you shut my front door, you can hear the front door. It's like a heavy wooden door. So every time it gets shut, you can hear it throughout the whole house. In the dead of sleep, I would be able to hear it. It's that loud. So since I didn't hear the door open, I was just like, okay, who's in my house? waiting for them to walk in front of the mirror so that I can know. Well, as he's walking and he gets to the mirror, this figure I found out it wasn't a real person because it still had the shadow on the wall, but also in the mirror it was a shadow. Like, it still had the shadow figure. It didn't have details. It was just like a shadow walking. And it kept walking, and for a second I thought it was gonna walk into the doorway of the kitchen, which would have scared me more because then I would have been able to see full on everything about it. But like, once it got to like the hall, to like the corner of the doorway to the hall, it like disappeared. Now, I was freaked out, and I told my mom about it, but of course I was a kid, so she's like, oh, you're just seeing things. Oh, it was just a car passing in front of the window. And I'm like, no, I know what the cars passing in front of the window look like. This had this thing's edges were so sharp and distinctive. Like, you could tell it wasn't like a normal shadow, because sometimes shadows like blend in and they're like a light gray, not straight pitch black like this thing was. And it freaked me out to where I was like, okay, I'm not going over there all the rest of the day till mom gets home. Now, a couple, maybe weeks or months later, one of my childhood friends was over. We're not really friends anymore, but you know. She was over, and she was using the phone, sitting on, you know, the bar stool like I did. And I was sitting in the bar stool next to her, but she was talking to her mom, and as she was talking, I was kind of looking in her direction, so, like, kind of listening to what she was saying, because, you know, just nosy little kid. And then she said, sorry, there was a bus. Anyway, she was talking to her mom and everything, and all of a sudden she looked into that corner where the doorway to my hall is, and she just stared at it, and she was just like in awe, is what I can see. Like, she's kind of like surprised and awe, and she's just like, so I quickly turn and look, and I didn't see anything, but I remembered the time when I sat there and saw something, and I was like, okay, what did you see? And she's like, I don't know. I just don't know. I was like, just tell me what you see, what you saw, and I'll try to help you figure it out, basically. Actually, I just said, just, what did you see? What did you see? And I just kept asking her. And then she described, just like what I saw, a shadow figure of a man with his hair combed back, wearing like a nice suit. And I was like, oh my god, you saw it too. That means I'm not going crazy. That means that it wasn't my imagination. I really saw this thing. So, and like, that's one of the weirdest things, that's the first time I ever actually saw something with like by myself. Sorry, my cat is like pushing everything. This is the first time I saw anything ever, and especially in my house. And it kind of freaked me out, but at the same time, I was like not too worried about it. As far as I know, nothing's ever happened in my house. My dad did say that when he went into the attic one time, he saw like some of the rafters and things were like, looked like they were charred a little bit, like as if there was a fire or something. But as far as I know, nothing happened here. My cat was just looking in a direction. It kind of scared me. It's just like staring. Yeah. So that's the big things that's happened in my house. I don't Oh wait, yes. There was one more thing. Um, when I was little, there was a brief period of time where my grandparents lived with us, and my grandma and grandpa stayed in this room, and I stayed in the other bedroom that's like right next door, which used to be my room for most of my childhood, but like when my grandparents moved out and everything, I came into this room because it was bigger. But they were staying here, and when I would get home from school, my grandma would help me with my homework and stuff. Ow! Freaking cat. Oh my god. My grandma, anyway, my grandma would help me with my homework, and we would do it like on the dining room table and stuff. So, you know, and that's towards the back of the house. So, we would, when we would do my homework one day, she was helping me and everything was off. There was no radio, no TV, nothing playing, nothing that could make noise. And we're just sitting there doing my homework. All of a sudden, we hear two people having a conversation. Like, and it sounds like they're like right at my front door having a conversation. And my grandma's like, "Do you hear that? Do you hear that?" Now, my grandma is kind of like sensitive, I guess, to this kind of stuff, and some stuff kind of follows our family around. So it might not have been like just my house doing that. It might have been something following her, because we've all had weird experiences in weird different places, and yeah. So we heard two people talking, and we could distinctly hear is a male and a female. And when my grandma asked me, like, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, "Yes, I can hear it clearly. Like, what is that? Maybe it's the neighbors or something." She's like, "No, I've been hearing that all day." And it couldn't have been my neighbors, because they were both at work all day, and even when I got home, they still weren't there yet. So, I mean, it couldn't have been them. And it sounded like they were right by my front door. None of my neighbors ever come to my front door for any reason. Like, we're not very close to any of my neighbors. Anyway, my grandma's like, "I've been trying to check and find people that could be talking all day," and she's like, "It's always seems like they're in a different direction of the house when you call, and when you like go and try to find them. They always like shift directions of the house. Like, if you hear it when you're in the back of the house and go to the front of the house, then they'll start talking in the back of the house, and then you just follow them, and the voices just keep moving around." So that was like the last weird experience I've had in my house. So, this video is getting kind of long, so I'm just gonna cut it here. And if you guys want to hear more paranormal stories, I can let you know. I have a couple more, but I can also tell like my family stories, because like I said, a lot of us are sensitive, a lot of us can hear things and see things, and stuff follows us. So, you know, a couple of us have actually used Ouija boards, and I could tell you stories about those. So just, if you guys want to see more videos like this, thumb this one up, and also comment below like, which one do you want to see first? Do you want to see like the ones with my family, my Ouija board experience, or what? And I'm going to try to start posting more videos. They might just be quick little vlog. Well, this one's not that quick, but little vlogs, like paranormal vlogs. If you ever want to see like another makeup thing where I actually do a look, because I actually have a plan for my Halloween makeup, I just haven't gotten around to testing it out yet. And when I test it out, I was going to make a video of it and post it. So just let me know, you guys, and thank you all for watching.